Hello and welcome to an Assetto Corsa Competizione video, where today we should be taking a look at one of the new circuits from the Intercontinental GT Championship DLC that dropped for ACC just yesterday around about lunchtime, and that circuit is going to be Bathurst, Mount Panorama, and we're going to be driving the Bentley Continental GT3 car. It's a 29 version, and we're doing so because, well, Bentley Motorsport went and won the 2020 real life Bathurst 12 hours. So let's get ourselves fired up and out onto the circuit, and we're going to be kind of driving in similar conditions to what the real drivers would have been driving in the real Bathurst 12 hours. The official start time for the race, I believe, was at 5:45 AM, and at the moment the session started at 5 o'clock, and we've got some nice time acceleration. You can see the clock up the top of the screen there in the center to show what the actual time is. And as you can see, we're at 5:14 AM now. I was just waiting for it to tick over by an extra minute. So starting in conditions slightly earlier than the real world drivers, but we'll be going through sunrise and into the early hours of the morning. Either way, this is a very highly anticipated circuit in the DLC. A lot of people have been very much looking forward to this one. I have certainly been looking forward to getting out onto this circuit. I've driven a few laps already to get comfortable, and I must say I'm very, very impressed. Bathurst is one of my favourite circuits purely because of the mountain section. It's such a real challenge, but it does also offer some fairly good overtaking spots as well in a couple of places, and a few places with a bit of respite. But the guys at Kunos have done an absolutely fantastic job of recreating the circuit here in ACC and really capturing the atmosphere of Bathurst. The track is really nicely detailed, and you can see the lights of Bathurst town itself up there at the end of Cumrod Straight here, and all the fields and kind of farm and vineyards that surround the circuit, all really nicely detailed as well. So very, very pleased with that. Obviously it's quite hard to see those kind of details at the moment in the night, but once we get up into the sun and kind of like the early daylight hours, you'll be able to see those a little bit better. But let's do a bit of a track guide here on this first flying lap. So start finish line or timing line is quite early. Coming down towards turn 1, going to be braking just after the 100-meter board, down into second gear, try and hook up towards the inside of the apex curve. Try not to clip it entirely, but there's a nice dip on the inside there that's very close to it. If you can hook the wheels into that, it just helps you tuck into the corner a little bit more. Mountain straight gives you a bit of respite, get a little bit light over the crest, and then we usually brake just after the 100-meter board, about 70 meters for Quarry Corner here. A lot of camber, so you can really tuck yourself into the corner very, very nicely. Now coming in towards the cutting, first part flat, down into second gear for the cutting itself, and then accelerating up as we're into the proper mountain section. Reed Park is near enough flat out once the tyres are up to temperature and up to pressure. Coming down through the grate and into Salmon Park, a little bit of a lift coming through here. Now into McPhillamys again, another lift. Just taking it easy whilst we're trying to get the temperatures up. Now coming over and down into Skyline. As we come through down the S's and then down into the dipper, you need to get all that speed bled off before tucking it into there, or as you find yourself in the outside wall. And now coming into Forest Elbow. You can use first gear for the corner if the gearing allows for it, otherwise use second. First just helps you to tuck into the corner a little bit more and get a little bit more oomph and a bit more drive coming off the turn for this very long Conrad straight here. Coming up over the crest again. Now entering the chase completely flat through the right-handed kink, braking just as we get to the 150 marker. Down into second or third gear, entirely depends on the car. Out through the exit, and then we're going to be braking just after the 100 board for the final turn here, and down into second, staying off the very large curb on the inside, running the curb on the exit a little bit, and that's your lap of Bathurst. But yeah, the sun is starting to come up quite nicely now, So let's talk a little bit more about the detail of the circuit. As you can see, coming up Mountain Straight here, a lot of foliage on either side of the track. A lot of detail in terms of the crowd, the fencing, and the surrounding areas of the track. Just really pleasing to see. Like I said, they've really captured the atmosphere of the track really well. A lot of marshal posts around the circuit with fencing and kind of their little sheltered stations. Really nice detail. And obviously the crowds lining this mountain section up here as well. Looks absolutely fantastic. Really gives you a great sense of presence. And then in terms of actually driving the track itself, it feels really, really nice and rewarding to drive. I'm not entirely sure when the scan was done for this circuit, but it feels smoother than the iRacing scan. I know the iRacing scan is quite a few years old now, but it does feel newer, more up to date, and just feels a lot smoother in a number of places. Certainly makes the enjoyment of driving the track quite nice. But there's a couple of spots around the circuit which do feel a little bit different to iRacing. It might just be the car's handling, but going up over the top of the mountain, going through Reed Park, Solomons Park and McPhillamy. I braked way too late here. Yeah, talking too much, sorry. Well, not talking too much. Obviously I want to be talking to you guys and explaining things here, but wasn't quite concentrating and missed my braking point. But yeah, going up through those three corners, you can seem to take them a lot quicker than I would initially expect. I'll demonstrate here on this lap that we're starting. But you can take them, well, you can take Reed Park completely flat, and you can take Solomons completely flat if you get the line right. I'm not entirely sure if it's because of the setup that's on the car from default, if it's got just a little bit more downforce than what you'd typically run here, or whether it's a physics thing or whether it's a track thing. But certainly you can take those corners a lot quicker than I would have expected. So a nice run there. So this is Reed Park. This is one corner you can take completely flat. You keep your foot planted and the traction control just does the work. Now coming down into the grate, and this one you can do completely flat as well, although I'm offline there, so I'm going to end up running wide and almost skirt the wall. And this is McPhillamy, another one that you can't take flat, or at least I haven't been able to yet. But it's still very high speed, and I'm not having to lift as much to go through that corner as I would in iRacing or in Project Cars 2. But it certainly does feel good. Now you can start to see, obviously, now we've got a bit more daylight, you can start to see the detail around the circuit. And it looks absolutely phenomenal. Look at that sunrise. That's grass. Let's not look at that sunrise. My god, that was a huge moment. Sunrise. Right, no more looking at sunrise. Let's actually nail our braking point this time around. But yeah, the detail around the track is really, really good. All the flags, all the sponsorship. Who knows, I've done a very, very impressive job here. And it's a real joy to drive. So let's see if we can get a couple of really quick laps in. At the moment, our best is a 2:03.4. I'm not going to do it on this one. That was a pretty poor run through the first turn, but I've been down into the 2:02s in the practice runs. So see if we can get reasonably close to that. But what a circuit this is. So already half a second up. Let's try and get the line right. Coming through Reed, and then coming through Solomons as well. There we go, it's near enough flat. Just a slight lift there, that sun is blinding. Get the speed bled off. Tucked in down and through, just filter the car through between the walls. Oh, almost collected the wall on the outside there. I just picked up the throttle just a little bit too early. So we'll do one more lap after this one. And probably call it there, but yeah, track is absolutely phenomenal. Oh, I didn't want to clobber the curb. Alright, I'm going to go definitely silent for the next one, so enjoy the car sounds.
Well done, mate. That's not best.
Way shy of the apex. That was a much better run there, coming out Forest Servo. That's going to help us all the way along down this straight. Annoyingly, I've chucked away about 3 tenths over the top of the mountain. One more corner to go. And there you go.
Well done, mate. That's not fastest lap.
Thank you, a 2:01.9. So the track is very, very quick around here. This is optimal conditions that I'm doing this this video in, but that was their first look at Bathurst Mount Panorama. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. If you have any comments, questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. And if you are new here, consider subscribing to the channel. It would be very much appreciated, especially if you hit that bell notification. That way you'll be notified whenever I put any videos up onto the channel. But that's going to be it. Thanks very much for watching. Hopefully I shall catch you in the next one. But in the meantime, have fun, stay safe, and take care.